Hail to the king, baby.
Man, I love that theme. Always gets me amped up. I'm so glad I found that song in YouTube Audio Studio because it just makes me so happy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here on another Monday night. Welcome to Chill and Chat with Michael B. I had to check sure my mic was green so you guys can see me and hear me properly. Not like in previous iterations of the show where it was absolutely a friggin' nightmare and I started the show with no audio, which is not the first time that's happened. Anyways, guys, how the heck are you, man? The gaming space is really interesting right now. We're dealing with lots of delays, closures, lots of uncertainty due to everything that's going on with the tariffs and trade wars. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the stuff that I am doing right now, the stuff that is making me happy, and the stuff I'm enjoying that I want to share with you guys. And hopefully you guys will let me know in the chat some of the stuff that's making you happy as well. So let's start off where we always start off, saying hello to a couple people here in the chat. I see my buddy Real Zim. You guys got to hit Zim up, find out there's a new logo floating around for Zim, which is absolutely fantastic. So I think you guys will really dig it. I love it. Danny Johnston's here, Sathius, Jason Little Alien, best moderator in the business. He's probably doing like 6 shows right now, all at the same time. Mark James is here. B. Kirby, who joined us a couple of weeks ago on my community stream. Thank you so much for doing that. And guys, we're going to do another one soon. So get yourself out there, get your confidence together, grab a camera and some headphones, and join us on the next community show because I want to talk to you guys too. It's a great way for us to hang out, do fun shit, and like I'll keep doing some giveaways and stuff like that. So yeah, there we go. Who else we got here? Gramps Arcade. Did I say Gramps Arcade yet? J City, let's get this party started. You're goddamn right. I get people mad when I say that, but can't help myself sometimes. Porta Dream is here. Who else we got? Cat Dad's Arcade, Stock Jock. Is this the place where dreams are made? I like to think so, Stock Jock. I certainly like to think so. Who else we got here? Scott B. Analogue Pocket is around $200. Not cheap, but it's a quality product. We're going to talk about that because I saw a comment from my buddy JJ earlier. So we'll talk about that a little bit later and why I would consider getting that. For anybody's interested in doing like an emulation pocket device, why I think this is the no-brainer for you to get, depending on what you want quality-wise, compared to some of these Amberdick, other devices, you know, the kind of crap nostalgia reviews. So, yeah, Ritual Delos here, Wild Bill's Gaming, Bill's Retro Show. Bill's Retro Show has really turned it on, has become a professional in walkabout mini golf. Last time I played with him, I'll tell you that. Who else we got here? Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Nate. Bob Beer, I don't know if I've seen you before in this. Very good to see you, my man. John McGovern's here. JJ, there's the comment I was talking about earlier. How much did the Analogue Pocket cost? And if you have any Ambernick devices, how do you think it stands up? We'll talk a little bit about that later. J-Rod is here. Mike Hawk Hertz. I love that name. It always reminds me of watching Porky's for the first time. I always think that, but I think the other side of it, and I actually went to school with a guy whose name, his full name, his Christian name is Michael Hunt, But of course, it's much more fun to call him the other thing. And that's what he went by, too. That's the funny thing. Sit rep, I'm a vampire in Oblivion, and it sucks, but I am not sucking literally, and then I'm searching for a cure. Yeah, J-Pace, we're going to talk about Oblivion tonight, too. Love that. Who else we got here? Show Gecko, always good to see you. Jason S., throwing a little rest in peace to the Golden Tee 3D XL, which rumors are true, no longer in my arcade. At one point, I was determined to become an Arcade1Up XL collector. I had all of them out before they made the Golden Tee Midway. That dream is dead. I'll tell you why about it a little bit tonight. Derek Empire is here. Jason Little Alien loves his Analogue Pocket. And my buddy Dan Z, Dan in St. Louis. Dan, always one of the first people to jump in on the chats. One of our biggest supporters, all the people across the home arcade scene. Dan, thank you for being you, my man. Let's go down to the bottom, see if we missed anybody. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Steve Sales here. Look, Steve Sales been loving the Walkabout Mini Golf. MG is here. Oh my God, MG. It's so good to see you, my man. MG asked me earlier how things were going. He understands that we're in the middle of the Canadian election today. So that's something I'm going to be watching in the background. I will tell you a little bit about Canadian politics. Canadian politics sucks. In the US, you guys have a much better system where you actually get to vote for your president. You get to vote for your leader. Here in Canada, it doesn't work that way. Sure, we get to vote, but we don't really get to vote. The parties, they elect their own leaders, and then what we do is we vote for very small amounts of people. So here, where I'm to in Newfoundland, I actually don't get to vote for the prime minister, but what I do get to vote for is a representative in my area, and it's kind of messed up. So if I vote for the guy Tom Osborne, Liberal, or I can't remember the Conservatives' name now, I'm voting for them to get into office, but that somehow counts towards who we're going to elect as the prime minister. I hate the system, but it is what it is. Who else we got here? Ron W. Hello, glad this Monday is over and ready to see what's up. Me too, man. Me too. Mad Ben Han taking time out from the At Games leaderboards to be here. Nice to see you, Mad Ben. Chris Ford. Who else we got here? Nooner's here. Good to see you as always. Bobby 1ALU. Good to see you as well. Ted Adam Green. Good to see you, my man. Neo Severa's here. JT Games. It's funny. One of the reasons I'm late, I just bought a new Green Bay Packers hat, and I have no idea what I did with it. I was spending time trying to find that before we got started, and that's why I'm so late, guys. So sorry about that. Maurice McCorkle's here. Chris Zeke is here. Chris Zeke is turning into one of us who has graduated, I guess you would call it. I don't know, but gone in a different direction. Chris has been picking up Stern pinballs as well. I know everybody says they don't understand it, but I don't know what to tell you, man. It's a hobby. Once you buy one pinball, you want more. I can't help you. You think that's a way better system than in the UK? I disagree. I think it's horrible. And it's such a good hat, too. That's what's driving me nuts, man. Retro Arcade Trooper, good to see you. Fist of Love. All right, let's get started, guys. My chair went down a little bit. Chrissy, 4 pins. I know. You just got sort of, no, you had sort of rage right from the beginning. I'm trying to remember what you just got. Let me get a Seahawks hat. I'll keep you warm and safe. We'll see. I need more cowbell. I wish I had some kind of cowbell or something to share with you. I don't know what to say. So where do you guys want to start off? I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about tonight. Do you want to start off about why I sold my Arcade1Up XL Golden Tee? Do you want me to talk about my Switch 2 pre-order and why I'm concerned with where I place my pre-order here in Canada? Or do you want to hear me talk about the Analogue Pocket and why I think this is probably the absolute best retro gaming emulation handheld you can buy? I replied to you earlier, Nooner. I did. MG, I did. I literally did. Nova Sonic. It's me. It's Michael M. Switch 2. Porter Dream says Pocket. Prince Malcolm. Good to see you, Prince. I'm telling you right now, every time I see a post from Prince Malcolm talking about retro gaming, I think we are kindred spirits, man. You put up something about Shinobi 3 earlier. I absolutely love Shinobi 3. Like, Me and you, same wavelengths or something. I don't know. All right, I'm seeing a lot of Switch 2, so I'll tell you a little bit about my Switch 2 story. I'm sure you guys probably watched my stream I did. Apparently, it was grabbed by some other streamer talking about fanboys freaking out about not getting Switch. I don't know. I don't really care. Someone mentioned it to me, and they're like, "You made this playlist," and I didn't know who he was talking about. Anyways, I was pretty bummed out. I wanted to do the live stream, get my Switch 2 right here live with you. I said when it started, this is like the stupidest thing I've ever done, but I tried to get the pre-order live the first night. What I didn't realize is there was only 2 retailers in Canada that were actually doing pre-orders live the night that Switch 2 went live. In the US, it was everybody pretty much, but here in Canada, it was just Walmart and it was just Costco. Now, I knew about Walmart. I was all ready to go on Walmart, but the minute it turned 12 o'clock, 1:30 here in Newfoundland, all the pre-orders were sold out. Like I struggled, I could get it in my cart, but I just couldn't check out with it. So immediately after that, I closed off the stream and then I went to Costco and it said it was still available. I was like, "Oh, Costco, you have saved my life. Absolutely saved my life." But then I was getting a weird era with Costco too, where I could put it into my cart, but that's as far as I could get. I couldn't check out. So I was like, son of a bee, right? Anyways, guys, just give me one quick second here. Goddamn chair is acting up tonight. eWin is a great product as long as you're not fat, because then the air canister goes in your chair. So here we go with this. So couldn't go to Costco. So what I did was I immediately jumped in my car and I wanted to go check out GameStop. So I drove by GameStop and I saw the one closest to my house. I saw one guy in the parking lot, and this was around 2:30 in the morning. So I said, "You know what? My phone's pretty much dead. I don't want to be here all night. There's only one guy there. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get some sleep, charge up my phone for a bit, and I'll head back around 5:30, 6 o'clock." So that's what I did. My alarm went off. My wife was very mad at me setting an alarm for 5:30 in the morning, but I got up. I went out there. I actually got up and I made a toasted peanut butter and jam sandwich, one of my absolute favorites. And I watched an episode of Dragon Ball Z before I left the house. And I got there like 6 o'clock, around 10 after 6 or so. So first thing I did was I noticed the guy there from the night before and I said hello to him. And I was like, "So I drove by like 2:30. You were here." And he was like, "Yeah, I've been here since 12. So he stayed all night, but he wasn't in lineup already. He was in his car. There was a guy, really interesting guy. And I say interesting, he was interesting. He was at the door. Apparently, he left his house 2:30 in the morning, walked there, and was at the door since 4 o'clock. So we stayed in our car till about 7 o'clock, and then other people started showing up. So we all jumped out of our cars, went to the doors, and then I spent 3 hours in the fog, the rain, the snow, and the cold, because Newfoundland sucks right now, waiting for the door to open. I was second in line by the time I got out of my car. I was right behind the weird guy that walked down 2:30. So I was second in line. They let me into the store. I was one of the first people in Canada, because of the way things open here. Probably one of the first like 6 to actually get to order my Switch 2. It depends on when the rest of the GameStops in Newfoundland open. Because of our early hours, we're the first place that would have actually opened. So I got to place my order and I was super happy. I went home, immediately passed out, and I felt so relieved because of how hard it was the night before that I got my pre-order. So that's the end of the story, right? Mike wins. He's got his pre-order. He's got his Mario Kart 2 Switch 2 bundle, and he's got his Pro controller and his copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza. So he's good to go. This is where it gets a little bit complicated and frustrating. So I want to show you this. Unfortunately, I've been having some problems showing video, so you won't get to see much video tonight. I'm just taking precautions so my shit doesn't get shit doesn't get messed up. I know the FOMO is strong in this one. Tell me about it. I thought it would be an easy online order, the same way the PlayStation 5 was, the same way the Xbox Series X was. But it got to me that I had such a hard time pre-ordering it the night before, seeing the horror stories of people in the US. So that's why I did that stupid thing. But here's the thing. I will admit it was stupid. And here's why it's stupid. So let me just pull up the screen here now. So I'm going to share screen, entire screen. So if you guys don't know, I stood in line to get a pre-order for the Switch 2 at GameStop. And still today, many days later, there are still limited quantities in select stores. So even if I didn't stand in line, it looks like I would have been absolutely no problem for me to saunter in middle of the day the next day and get a pre-order. So, man, I feel like an idiot, right? And so I should. I didn't need to stand in line. But here's what makes me a little bit concerned about this. Obviously, all the online orders are gone. It seems like across the world right now, it's actually pretty hard to actually get your hands on a copy of a Nintendo Switch 2. What concerns me is that GameStop were so liberal doing pre-orders, and I'll explain it now. Let me get this off the screen. So you're probably saying, what do you mean, Mike? My concern is this is a massive influx of revenue for GameStop, because you got to think about it. They were taking $300 on the pre-order live in store. So my concern is that GameStop executives were telling them, yeah, just keep going. And there was actually no inventory control on what they were doing. So I went there, I stood in line. I've got one of the very first pre-orders, but I have a fear that GameStop intentionally oversold their pre-orders. So even though number 2 in line, I should be guaranteed a console, I'm actually a little bit concerned now, because I think maybe they oversold what stock they're initially going to have. And even though I was so early getting my pre-order right there, Johnny on the spot, it's still going to be a struggle June 5th in order to get one, because I guarantee you now, all the people that put pre-orders at the store are going to find out they don't have enough stock. It's just a matter of time. There's no way that they could be so liberal with their pre-orders in store when it was so hard to get online that everybody's going to be serviced. Right? Right, Jason? Sucks that you have to buy at least 2 to guarantee you got something. Nostalgia has 4 pre-ordered just in case. Yeah, it's like the it's not, it wasn't the car reservation, or was it the restaurant reservation? You can take a reservation, you just can't hold the reservation. That's what it is. Canada will be getting all pre-orders by 7. We don't pay the tariff fee. You guys, I'm still fascinated by this whole thing. I don't lean political in the U.S. one way or another. I don't dislike Trump, like Trump. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Canadian. But when people say you have to pay the tariffs to the U.S., we don't pay anything to the U.S. Literally nothing to the U.S. The tariffs that are charged in the US are charged to US companies and US consumers. The tariffs I would have to pay are charged by our government. It's a weird thing. Yeah, I'm so sick of this conversation. Pick a side, Mike. It's just funny because everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you got to pay the tariffs." I have to pay the Canadian tariffs, which our government placed on us. Shut up and pay your tariff, you Canadian. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Anyways, let's see what J Pace has. I know J Pace is similar, but the stock they have will go the first people that pre-ordered in person like you. I'm not so sure about that. I piss on the tariffs. Just get me my New Wave Toys pre-orders. Yeah, tell me about it. Good to see you, Brooklyn Menace. Good to see you. Anyways, back to what Jay was saying, but the stock they have will go to the first person. I'm not so sure about that, because what prevents, they're doing a midnight launch. What prevents them from just serving the first people through the doors? That's what concerns me. Right? I can't be Democrat or Republican. I'm Canadian. That's not our parties. We're conservative and liberal here, which is the equivalent of conservatives, Republican. Democrat is liberal. I personally have always been a conservative. Here in Newfoundland, we had what's called progressive conservatives. Yeah, I don't know where I stand now. I am I am I am I'm still a progressive conservative, even though they don't exist anymore. Yeah, anyway, so that's my concern about my Switch 2 pre-order. I spent all that time, I stood in line, I got my pre-order. I'm very happy to have it, but at the same time, I didn't need to. And now I'm concerned that even though I was one of the first people, I'm a little bit concerned it won't be honored unless I'm one of the first people that lines up midnight. Now, am I super concerned about it? No, because you know what? I'm going to be there for the midnight release. I'm not going to saunter in midway through the next day. As soon as I can get my hands on my Switch 2, I'm going to be there. So I will literally fight my way to the door to get my pre-order. But I am concerned about what GameStop's doing there. Like the fact they took so many orders, and still had orders a couple of days ago. And like this website says, even though it's literally sold out like worldwide, like people are having problems getting them, they're like, yeah, we still got quantities in store going. Give us your $300. We don't care. We'll take your $300. Absolutely. I am MG. Laugh all you want. Yeah, it'll be like those pictures on the internet. It's just a picture. Oh man. So yeah, this guy was there, and he was the first person by the door, and he kept like making like Mario voices and stuff like that. He was interesting. That's what I'll say. Oh yeah, I'm not going to work that day. I'm not going to work. All our audits at work will be clear then. Unless there's some kind of disaster, I won't be at work there. Oh, Brooklyn, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Anyways, guys, so that's my Switch 2 story. I stood out in the rain and the cold like an absolute idiot. Apparently, I didn't need to, but we'll see. I mean, I hope Jay is right, and I hope the store is usually really super fair. So I'm sure what they'll do is they'll contact people ahead of time and make sure those people get them first. Did I freeze there? It felt like I froze. I froze on my screen. I don't know if I froze for you guys too. That was wild. Anyways, guys, moving on. There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. That's Switch 2. Uh, yeah, so I froze too. It was kind of like, that's an unfortunate freeze frame. I know, MG. I'm sure I did not look very pretty in that one. Anyways, yeah, what did I tell you guys? No video, no damn video tonight. Can't take the risk. Anyways, guys, yeah, let me know in the comments. Throw a one in the chat. Did you pre-order a Switch 2? Let me know. Were you successful? Are you excited for June 5th? Throw a one in the chat. If you don't really give a shit about the Switch 2, throw a zero. Love to know. While we're waiting, Craig, when does Jersey Jack announce next pinball machine? Technically, they already did announce their next pinball machine. They're doing Harry Potter. It was kind of a weird sour grapes moment. Like it was right around the time that Barrels of Fun announced Dune, and right around the exact same time that Sturm was going to do King Kong. Jack did an interview himself, and he was like, "Yeah, so our next game is going to be Harry Potter. We're really excited about this one. Don't buy any other pinball machines. You're going to want this one." So it was a really weird interview that he did. I like it felt really strange. I will tell you that. Hey, Chris Olgaz, good to see you, my man. Sir Sega pre-ordered and then canceled a few days later. Wow. Why'd you cancel, Sir Sega? Yeah, that was the weird thing. A lot of people were saying Best Buy actually wasn't live yet. There you go. Well, the Prana cam's for your bedroom, MG. You can tell the truth. And yeah, I got a couple. He'll get that launch day and it'll be in his garage for 2 years before it ever gets open. I'm seeing a lot of people see this, interested, but not day one, may even wait till next year to get it. And I'll ask you this: is it because the game lineup isn't exactly as exciting as you wanted? Like, I'll be honest, it's wild for them to do this. Usually, Nintendo have always had success when they launch their console alongside either a Legend of Zelda or a Mario game. If you go back and look at the consoles that didn't release with those, like the GameCube, like the Wii U, those are the ones that kind of ended up failing. But if you look at the Nintendo Wii that came out the exact same time as Twilight Princess and also had Wii Bowling. I don't care about Wii Sports, just Wii Bowling. That's all that mattered. When you look at that, there's a distinct lineup advantage. It's Nintendo Switch launched with Breath of the Wild, and we knew Odyssey was in the reaches, but this time they're launching with Mario Kart World, which I'm super excited for. I mean, Mario Kart 8, even though it was a Wii U game, is still my most played Switch game to date. But then going with Donkey Kong Bonanza, and we don't even know when Metroid Prime 2 is actually coming out. So it's a weird lineup. So I could certainly see interest in it. I'm seeing a lot of zeros here. Mad Dog says 0. Stock Jock 1. Sir Sega canceled. Danny Johnson sent me some binary. I don't know what's going on there. Steve Sale is 0. Porter Dream put a 2. Brian G said 0. I'll wait. Chris Zeke is 0. Sathius is 1. Chris Ford is 0. 2 of them, Donkey Nog. What's Donkey Nog, Brooklyn? 1 for Retro Arcade Trooper, 1 for Jason. Calvin is 0. Tony C is 0. JT Games is 1. MG just told me he got multiple. Then he puts 0 in the chat. Bobby ALU puts 1. Zim, get in there. He's got 1. Scott B, J Pace. Yeah. Chris Ogaz has got 1. I'm taking the 5th off and playing Mario Kart all day. I will join you for that, MG. I know you like that online gaming. I will be there. I will be there to play with you. Anyways, yeah, so that's the Nintendo Switch story. So I wanted to tell you about a couple other things. It's weird where there's no home arcade stuff right now. I find myself buying other things I wouldn't normally get. So I think I told you guys about this one already. This is actually, my kids got me this for Easter, and what I mean by that is I bought it so my kids had something to give me. I got the Atari 7800 Plus console and gamepad that came with, what is this? Bentley Beers. I keep wanting to call it Wally Bear and the No Gang. Bentley Beers Crystal Quest. So this is something I talked about a lot. Anyways, man, Billy B. Kirby, thank you so much. Gifted 10 memberships to the Michael B. the Game Genie membership program. I still got to figure something out for that. I know 19K Fox does an after show. I want to do something special for my members. I don't know about an after show, but maybe I'll do some kind of meetup or something like that where we can hang out in Discord, or we can, do a members only show. You guys can come on, whatever you want. Let me know. Give me some feedback about that, guys. Let me know what you'd like to see for being part of my membership. I mean, I appreciate it. Obviously, it helps out the channel, but at the same time, what can I do for you guys to do something that makes you feel like value for that? That would be great. Meet and greet in Newfoundland. I don't know about that. You don't want to come here. Well, maybe you want to get some Johnny and Maze. So this is something I've been doing. And one of the big reasons is I love what Atari's doing here. Now, this emulation is no different than like what Retron did with the Retron 5 and even the Retron 77. It's just basically you can play new carts on it, which I love, and you can play your old carts, and it's not perfect emulation. It's not original hardware. You put the carts in, they read the cart, and then you can play it. You also can't use flash carts on it. You can't plug in an SD card or add your own games. It's basically just a new Atari 7800 Plus that also plays 2600 games. But it got me really interested in going out and getting some console stuff again, which I think I already told you guys a little bit about this. Made me interested in possibly going out and getting some NES stuff again. So I started looking into getting NES, systems that could play this stuff. I knew I didn't want the Retron because it's no different than me emulating, except I could have a cart. So what I looked into was actually Mister. So I started looking into the Mister FPGA. We'll get there. There's a step I'm skipping, but I originally was looking at Analog, and I was looking at their old systems. Like they have the Analog NT1, and then they also have the Super NT, Mega SG, and these are FPGA emulation that let you play the carts directly in the systems. But unfortunately, they're all sold out, so you can't buy them anymore. So then I was there really looking at FPGA emulation. I talked to my buddy Nostalgia about it. So I started looking at Mister, and I've known about Mister for years. Like FPGA emulation is not new to me. It's just I was always a little scared of it because I'm not really much of a tinkerer. You guys know that. Like, I don't want to be assing around with trying to put this shit together and then figuring out like what BIOSes I need and files. Like, I barely have time. I barely have time to play the stuff I want to play. I don't want to be dicking around to try to make it work so I can actually play it. So I was a little bit scared by that. And I was also a little bit scared off by the prices. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following right now. Oh, actually, thank you very much, Jason, for putting that up. Anybody who's interested in the Atari 7800 Plus, there's a great deal right now where you can get this for basically $65 US through Woot. I will tell you, it's okay. It's really cool that I can play my original games. I also picked up, I don't know if I showed you guys this, I also picked up the original CX stick, the 2600 controller. I got to get on camera for that. And I picked up Atari 2600 Berserk. Haven't had a chance to get into them yet, but that's on my list. I'm going to do a review of the 7800 Plus relatively soon. But on top of that, I started looking at Mister, and Nostalgia was like, yeah, you can get it for about, $350, $400 US. Prices jumped up significantly as well. So I was like, I don't know if I want to get into it. I was looking into it, but that's when I put a post up on my Twitter and I said, hey, does anybody know if Analog is ever going to sell their NT or Super NT or Mega SG ever again? And actually got a response from Worst Jago. He was like, why don't you just check out the Analogue Pocket? The Analogue Pocket does FPGA emulation, but it also has cores available for all the systems you want, and you can just emulate the games. So this is what I ended up buying, was a Analogue Pocket. And here's the reason I went this way over the Mister. Obviously, one, it's a lot easier, and I'm really stupid. So I didn't have to go trying to put everything together. It's cheaper. I didn't have to drop out $500 US. This is the direction I wanted to go in. But here's the other side of it too. So it's the best of all worlds, in my opinion. Obviously, right out of the box, you can plug in your Game Boy cartridges, Game Boy Color cartridges, and Game Boy Advance cartridges. You can also buy adapters to plug in Sega Game Gear, TurboGrafx 16, Atari Lynx, and I think it's Neo Geo Pocket cards. Let's go down and take a look. So you can do all kinds of screen options, and it's actually playing off the cart, not just, downloading the cart and emulating it like the Superboy and other consoles like that do. So this is what I went with, and I thought that was really rad. There you can take a look at all the Game Boy cartridges, and here's the extra ones: TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine, SuperGrafx, Atari Lynx, Neo Geo Pocket, and Game Gear. So those are the extras you can use. You can also play Master System games, believe it or not, if you use the what is it? The Master System adapter for the Game Gear. You can actually plug it into this. Whoo, wild. But one of the things that really interested me is it's not just a handheld device. You can actually buy this dock. So the system itself was $219. Dock was an extra $100. And when you actually dock this, it works like a Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck. I've got it docked into a TV. It then outputs to my TV in 1080p, and then I can use, all my 8-bit-do gamepads that I have. I have pretty much every single console that's available. I also found out tonight, too, the Nintendo Switch controllers, like the Sega Genesis controller, N64 controller, Super Nintendo controller, even the NES controllers, they all work with the dock as well. So if you wanted to play something with your Analog Pocket with one of those, official Nintendo controllers. They work too. So I was really interested in this, but here's what really caps it off, because not just can you play the games, it also has an SD card. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Here we go. And you can go out and get cores for every system, every single one. So this is a full list of all the cores that are available. If you guys watch James Hates Everything, he did a stream on using like the pup date and the pup dater to get all the arcade stuff. But for me here specifically, that's great that you can do arcade. I bought this specifically and I'm focused on playing retro console games. So you can see a list here of all the consoles it supports: NES, ZX Spectrum, Neo Geo, Genesis, PC Engine CD, PC Engine, Super Nintendo, Atari Lynx, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Commodore 64, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, PC Engine CD, MSX, NES. Go through a lot of them, duplicate here, but I just want to make sure I got all of them. Game & Watch, Wonder Swan Color, Neo Geo, Pokemon Mini, Video Brain, Family Computer, Super Game Boy, Odyssey 2, ColecoVision, Intellivision, Adventure Vision. You can add all of these to your actual system. For me, I mean, I was pretty specific. I'm looking to play a lot of the games from my childhood, from my old collection. Let me get my mouse over in the right place. I'm looking to play mostly NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx 16 CD, and Sega CD. That is my golden lineup. That's the era generation that I have the most nostalgia for and want to play the most. Now you're saying, Mike, you don't need to go buy an Analog Pocket to emulate those. You can emulate those on your PC. You can emulate those on like one of those, illegal boxes they sent you. You can, use an NES Classic. You can use a million different ways. But the trick is, I have been doing that. I sold my NES collection, all my retro game collection, years ago, about 8, 9 years ago, when we had our daughter, make up room in the house, pay off bills, all that stuff. And since then, I said, I'll just go to emulation. And I will tell you, I lost a lot of fire and excitement for retro console gaming during that period, because even though I made that decision that I could sell this stuff and still play it through emulation, anybody who knows the difference between playing on base hardware on a CRT compared to even playing on base hardware, trying to get it to work on a TV, a modern TV, or through emulation, there's big differences, especially in timing and the way the game plays. Like if you've played specific games, especially those games that require really high input timing, such as like Punch Out is a really good example. Super Punch Out, believe it or not, is a really good example as well. You'll know what I'm talking about. There's just something a little bit off. Sure, you can get the experience. Sure, you can get the base nostalgia, but it doesn't feel the same. And it bummed me out. Like I lost a lot of my interest in playing retro games. But now that I have the Analog Pocket and I have all my games running through FPGA emulation, what FPGA emulation does is pretty much recreates the original hardware experience on modern televisions. So it's funny. I know C Marbles here in the chat. He said it to me the other night, because I am going to play a little bit of a video, and I'm sure this will absolutely slow everything down. I don't know if anybody tuned in, but the other night I was pretty excited. I got to play. Bonnie, I'll go check it out, man. Thank you so much. Good to see you as always. So I was playing Batman NES the other night, and honestly, I felt so at home and so comfortable doing this the right way. The game played like it should play. Now, I didn't finish it. I was a little disappointed about that. I only got as far as the end of the fourth level. Man, who puts ads on the video like this? Disgusting. What a jerk. It's hidden behind my camera here. Get off the screen, ad. And it's one of those form ads. MG was making fun of me all the other night. Purple man. Look at that. Batman is super purple in that game. Get off the screen, jeez. So I'll put it back up now that the ads are gone. So during that stream, This was on my Analog Pocket through the dock. That's what I was playing through. And C Marble said, 100%. He captured it perfectly why I wanted to do this. I just realized and now that you have your pocket and you have all these games on it, you essentially have your collection back and you're playing it the way it should be played. And that is exactly why I did this and exactly why I wanted to do it. If you just want to dick around with these games and, just test them out, you can go buy your Abernix, you can go buy your other stuff. It's cheaper, but, cost comes with the experience, I guess you would say. You can play it. Some games you don't really need the timing, like if you're playing Pokemon, it's a turn-based RPG. What the fuck does a couple milliseconds of timing mean? Probably nothing to you. But if you want to play like NES games, and especially action platformers and stuff like that, where timing is so goddamn important, that's why you get something like this. And the Analog Pocket, in my opinion, is pretty much the best way you can go with this. Because take a look at this. Not only can I play carts in the actual console, but I with my SD card here, I added all my rounds so I can play every single NES game, every single Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16, all those games portably here. I can play them that way. Right here on my handheld if I want, same as I could do with any Abernix, same with Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, all that shit. But then when I don't want to do that, then I can also plug it into my dock and just play it on a normal TV, and it basically is a Mister. Now, the downside of getting this over a Mister is it doesn't have the same beefy hardware. Like, one, the cores come out for more powerful consoles. You're probably not going to be able to do that on your pocket the same way you do as a Mister. But honestly, man, for $219 US for your analog pocket, $100 for the dock, which is cheaper than the Mister, you can have this FPGA experience at home and on the go. To me, it just seemed like the perfect idea. Oh my god, does Batman ever have like all the Sunsoft games, Prince Malcolm, all of them, all of them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mike. Stephanie Victor. Yeah, I know that Devil Kiss leg scissors. There you go. Hey, Retro Tech X. No, Sathius. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the dock. Just give me a second here. I'll bring it up for you what you get. So I'll go back to the analog page. Just bring this up. Go into the products. Get out of this. I'll show you what it actually comes with. So we go to products here, or better yet, to go to store. So here's the Analog Pocket. It was available in a bunch of colors. They've done a bunch of runs on this. Right now, it's only available in white and black. I went with the black. I don't know why. I just like the black better. But then you get your docks separate. So the if you go white, the analog dock white LE is 129. If you go black, it's only 99 bucks. So $319 US. You're basically up and running with a handheld that plays everything with pretty much perfect emulation all the way back to how it played on original hardware. And then if you want to spend the extra $100, then you can also dock it to your TV. It connects with, Bluetooth controllers. It connects with the Nintendo Switch controllers. You can use your Pro controller, or you can use all those amazing retro controllers they came out with. Like, for me, I think this is an accessory everybody should use. Like, I should shut up about this because I plan to eventually review it, but I can't tell you how excited I am for this. Yes, the adapters cost extra too. The adapters are down here. You can pick up the whole 4-pack of adapters if you want to play the extra. If you want to play the extra games, they're $100. I mean, you can if you want to play them, but you can also just put the ROMs on the SD card and play them that way too. If you want to nostalgia it, you can do that. So, yeah. I don't know, Mike Hawkhurts. $1 million question. I can tell you, for some reason, I have a really hard time getting At Game stuff to work with anything that isn't At Games. I have no idea why. I've never had luck with it. I'm not saying it can't be done. Other people have told me they love it, and it's not a problem. I have looked at the Polymega. I don't think the Polymega is FPGA emulation, brother. The Polymega is just emulation. if I'm not mistaken. I did look into it. Super expensive. Actually, one of my friends was very excited because he just got a Polymega. I can't remember his channel name now, but because he changed it like 4 times. But he was playing, what was it? He was playing Quake from Sega Saturn on his Polymega. Like, it's a great way to play disc-based games for consoles that you might not have anymore, like Saturn and stuff like that. But otherwise, like, eh, eh. Yeah, the dock also recognizes X input or Xbox controllers. So here's an example. Like, I know James is talking about he wants to buy a Nova Blast to pair with his Pocket so he can play arcade games on his Nova Blast or his upcoming Nova Blast through his Pocket as the brain. But you could also do that with the X Arcade too, because the X Arcade has X input. I don't know, Fist of Love. I can't answer you on that. You would have to take a look at it. So, anyways, that's my journey so far with the Analogue Pocket. That's something I've really enjoyed playing. Another thing I bought, and you guys might not be surprised by this. I didn't pre-order it. I will tell you that. But another thing I've kind of gotten like really interested in lately is Evercade. I finally picked up the Tomb Raider Evercade Gigacart, and I had a lot of fun with that. So much fun. I ordered Legacy of Kain like directly after the stream. The other day, someone reminded me that it was new release day for Evercade, and I didn't order. And I said, "Oh, it was Carl, Detroit Love." And I said, "Thanks for reminding me." So I was just going to pick up the Tomb Raider cart, but then I went to the Evercade site and I saw this bundle was still available. Now, honestly, I had no interest in picking up Atari Arcade 2 because outside of Berserk and Frenzy, which are Stern arcade games, not even Atari arcade games, I didn't really know any of the other games on this cartridge, and I didn't really care for it. But I'm a sucker for combo and a deal. Look at that Evercade hat. Isn't that the coolest shit you've ever seen? Vasil says he uses the Nova Blast with a Mr. FPGA, and it's glorious. I can imagine it is. Yeah, oh my God. Oh, Super Game Room dudes this past Friday. That conversation was wild. Wild. Going back and forth. Is Funstock Blaze? Is Blaze Funstock? I don't know. Retro Tech, let me tell you, Walkabout Mini Golf is pretty fantastic. If I was playing by myself, I don't think it would have the appeal. I wouldn't come back and play a bunch of games by myself over and over again. It's the multiplayer experience what makes it so special. Like, you actually feel like you're in a room with all these other dudes, mainly MG, making really weird comments about teacups. And that's what makes it so special. Like, it's a stupid game. It's super fun to master. But again, if you're just playing it by yourself, you're going to get bored as fuck. That's the truth. What I will tell you is if you are a Pinball FX fan at all, you're going to want to go check out Pinball FX VR, because honestly, next to playing real pinball machines, I think that might be the best experience. When will Michael B join VR chat to be an anime girl? Probably not anytime soon, Gio. Not anytime soon. Yeah, so anyways, I'm a sucker for this hat. I wanted the Evercade hat. I'm not gonna lie. So I stupidly bought this pack when I spent $102.16 when I could have just bought the next Tomb Raider Gigacart for $45. But unfortunately, that's true. That is true. But I'm in Canada, so mine shipped today. So mine is on the way. Exactly. That's what I keep telling people, because people are like, there's no way playing Pinball FXVR is a better experience than playing on a virtual pinball machine like that game's Legends Pinball 4K. And I said, it's all about the depth. That's what makes the difference. Experiencing that world under glass that you don't get from a flat image on a virtual pinball machine. So I bought that. A couple other things. I just wanted to kind of go over what I'm playing recently. I also picked up recently Xenoblade Chronicles X. So I'm about 10-ish hours into this so far. This is a very big departure from the other Xenoblade games. I already had this on Wii U, never played it. I bought it used after the console was, after the Switch had already arrived. But I finally started playing this because I finished all the other Xenoblade Chronicle games, and it is very different. Still very fun. So I'm currently playing through that. I'm also playing through on the PlayStation Alan Wake 2, despite never finishing the original Alan Wake, only getting to like the third stage. And despite never getting further than the first stage in Control, I decided to pick up a little while ago Alan Wake Deluxe Edition. So I'm currently playing through this, and it is wild, man. I just played through the first episode of, I think this is bonus content, Night Springs, where you go around as the waitress with the shotguns blowing people up. So that's been fun. I don't usually do this, but I'm playing like 4 or 5 games all at the same time now. And the other addiction I got is through Xbox Game Pass. And I talked about this a little bit on Super Game Room Dudes earlier this week. Xbox Game Pass is friggin' insane right now. Like, I don't know what happened, but for the longest time, it felt like nothing came out. I waited forever for Hellblade 2, Senua's Sacrifice to come out. Then I played through that, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do nothing now for another year. Then all of a sudden, it started. We got Indiana Jones, and then we got the announcement of Ninja Gaiden Sigma Black. I'll pull up my actual Game Pass for PC here. I'm an Ultimate member, but just take a look at like what was recently added. So I'm currently playing through Oblivion, and I'm I don't know. Oh, I don't even have it on the right screen. Sorry, guys. Hold on. There it is. So, yeah, here it is. I'm currently playing through Oblivion right now, and that has been a absolute joy to go back and experience that. When I got this first on the Xbox 360, I burned through it in like 3 or 4 days. So I'm taking my time, really playing it out. I'm having a ton of fun. But on top of that, there's so many other games that came out. Expedition 33, which I know my buddy P Dubs is playing through right now. He's like, he played like 8 hours of it on Sunday. That is a turn-based RPG in a time where it's taboo to do turn-based RPGs, which I love turn-based RPGs, and I hate Square for taking that away from me. So I'm very excited to play that, but that's not all that's out. We've also got Crime Scene Cleaner. I'm probably never going to play that one, to be honest. But take a look at everything else out here. Diablo 3 just got added to the PC side. I'm going to want to play that. South of Midnight, which is another new game. Atomfall, which is another new game. I don't know if we'll get all of them here. No, that's where it ends. But we also got that Ninja Gaiden game. We got Avowed. I mean, right now, there's probably like 9 games in my backlog, all from Game Pass, that are all brand new games. It's wild how all of a sudden Xbox just became a thing again, and they've got all these really good games and hits. It's crazy. Like, I'm really, really happy with Xbox, and maybe I'm just on a high right now because I'm playing through Oblivion. When I started playing through Avowed, I was like, this isn't that good. But Oblivion, well, it's Oblivion. I'm having a ton of fun. So last but not least, I do want to talk about Arcade1Up Golden Tee 3D. Unfortunately, when I was looking earlier, there's no longer a post on Arcade1Up's website for the Golden Tee 3D. So you're going to have to visualize this is the XL instead of the Deluxe. So very recently, I decided to finally give up on my dream of getting all the Arcade1Up XL cabs. One of the reasons, of course, is that I thought the Midway Golden Tee combination was an abomination. I mean, it's not as bad as it could have looked, but still at the same time, it's not something I want in my collection. So I wasn't going to get that one, and it was never available in Canada. So I just couldn't do it. So I wasn't super interested. But what happened, if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I actually picked up my second pinball machine. I picked up a Jurassic Park Premium that just came up locally. And really, I'm at a point right now in my arcade when something comes in, something has to go. And unfortunately, what had to go was the game I liked the least of all the arcades I had was Golden Tee. Did I want to get rid of my NBA Jam XL? No. Did I want to get rid of my Killer Instinct Pro? No. Did I want to get rid of my Pac-Man Arcade1Up XL? No. Did I want to get rid of my Terminator Arcade1Up? No. Did I want to get rid of Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition HS5 Deluxe Cab? No. Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe? No. Tron? No. So the only answer was Golden Tee had to go. And, I want to talk about this. We're at a time right now where a lot of people are focused on like the negative stuff with home arcade that, nothing's coming out. And it's true, nothing's fucking coming out. You can either buy the really crappy new Arcade1Up Walmart classic SE cabs, or you can buy nothing. That's pretty much our fucking answer right now. And I'm okay with that because I have a full arcade and I don't have anything I really want to part with. Like the only arcade I would even remotely consider parting with right now is NBA Jam Shack Edition because for some reason it has Shack on the side of the cab. But I do love NBA Jam. That was a huge part of my childhood, a huge nostalgia thing for me. So I don't really want to let go of it. And I'll never be able to get one again, probably. So it's a tough one. I'm at that point where I'm sure a lot of people have been doing this for a long time. If you buy something new, something's got to go out. And I mean, even up here in this space, like I've got my ALP 4K, I've got my At Games Legends Ultimate. This is my multi-cade room. I've got MegaCade behind me. Like if I added something else, like another multi-cade, what am I going to do? I got to get rid of one of these, and I don't want to do that. So I'm at that point where I'm okay with no arcades coming out because it has to be something really special for me to take something out of my lineup. Like, I think what I'm going to do, and I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, what I'm looking at doing now is NBA Jam XL will eventually go. Like, I'm okay with it. I did want to show you this first. So there's a very good reason why, on top of it not being available here in Canada, why I'm okay with giving up on the whole Arcade1Up XL dream. So if you go down here and you Google it, there's an Arcade1Up collections tab. So I'm just going to make it larger so you can see. So take a look at this. I Googled earlier trying to look for the link for the Arcade1Up Golden Tee XL cab, and I came across this Arcade1Up.com collections XL. Now, this was it. I bought these new XL cabs. I thought they were the bee's knees. I wanted to fill my full arcade with them. So let's go in and see the update on that. And nothing. This collection is currently empty. That tells you how much plans and hopes Arcade1Up have for their XL cabs. So why the fuck would I be excited for XL cabs, right? Don't kid yourself. I'm serious. My daughter saw that and she lost her mind. If that comes to Canada, because the original claw machine didn't, I will be getting a claw machine. It's not going in my arcade. It'll probably go in my family room. That's where it'll go. But that is actually one I think is a really smart move by Arcade1Up. I know it's not for us. I know people are going to fucking hate it, but I think they're going to make a ton of money. And yeah, I would buy one. No joke at all. So yeah, this is it. Like, I mean, what do you even say? Like, are you surprised I gave up on like the hope of having an XL collection? The company gave up on it. There is no such thing as an XL, right? Yeah, Danny. Well, I that one actually never came to Canada either. I don't know if it's a cab I would have got. Like, I had zero nostalgia for it, but it would have been nice to at least have the option, is what I'm saying. Yeah, see, Marvel, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. I hate to be a negative Nancy here. Like we had a lot of hope. We had a lot of hope when Iconic Arcade first started. And I love what they did. Like, I love that Street Fighter cab. I still haven't made up my mind whether or not I'm going to place a pre-order or not. I'm still waiting, hoping that before the delivery date, they at least put out more information. I want to see the UI, I want to see the changes. So, I'm waiting on that. I got cash ready. I'm just waiting to see what they do. So, that's an option. Maybe I really like my Arcade1Up Street Fighter 2 Deluxe cab. So I'm not as super gung ho about getting that Street Fighter 2 World Warrior cab unless it's exactly what I want. because I really, really, really like the deluxe Street Fighter that Arcade1Up did last time. Sure, it's not XL, but it's really fucking good. And I don't know if Iconic really is going to be any better. So I want more information on that. And then, of course, the basic fun stuff, with them shutting down all production in light of tariffs, ain't nothing we can do about that. So we just got to wait and, yeah, whatever. I mean, but in the meantime, like I have no confidence that even if Arcade1Up did something really cool, like they came out with another XL cab, Mortal Kombat, and it was badass, we'd even be able to get it here in Canada. We haven't been able to get the last two. And when I talked to the Brick about it, I said, any word on Arcade1Up XL cabs? I was pretty much told, yeah, I asked about that, and it was pretty much the line is dead, is what they told the Canadian retailers. So my guess is it's a Costco US exclusive. You're going to get one a year. There's no such thing as a line anymore. It's, you're lucky if you get something. One year, it might be something cool like Mortal Kombat. The next year, it's going to be Pac-Man X Doodlebug or whatever the fuck they come up with, some kind of weird combination. So, yeah, man, boo. You missed it, Retro Tech. We did that earlier, brother. Anyways, yeah, so I ended up selling this, and I don't feel bad about it. And what I plan to do, this is what I wanted to show you. So my hope is I've moved away from the idea of buying new pinball machines. I'm no longer going to be a new unbox guy. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, uh, right now to buy a new pinball machine in Canada, it's like $17,000 to get a premium, and that's before shipping. So, like, I don't have any interest in that. I picked up my Stern Jurassic Park for under 12 Canadian, which works out to about $8,100 US. So I was really happy with that deal. That's a really good deal on a home use only, very low play modded Jurassic Park Premium, which I still got to do a video on and tell you about it. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Pac-Man versus Doodlebug. Yeah, it's crap. Anyways, let me show you this. What I'm planning on doing next is one that's been on my list for a while. It's not a popular one with pinball enthusiasts, but I'm hoping I can get a pretty decent deal on it here in Canada. Um, hold on, damn it, it's not coming up easy. I don't think anybody will be surprised when they see what it is, but so what I'm still looking to get, even though there's better machines that have released recently, Texas Chainsaw is a better game. And I mean, I haven't played Evil Dead yet, but from everybody I talk to, they say it's friggin' incredible. What my plan is, I'm hoping to find a Halloween spooky pinball. Now, this is nothing I was hoping for. I was actually hoping to show images of the game, but for some reason, this just came up. Shop. I bet you they don't even have one. Don't even have one in stock. But anyways, what I'm looking to get is a Halloween spooky pinball. That's next up. So the idea behind it is I'm hoping to find one between $6,000 and $8,000 Canadian. That's what I'm kind of saving up for now. All my extra shekels are going towards that. I still got to pay off. Bought my wife a couch and bought a new camera just before Christmas that I financed. So I got to pay 2 of those off. When they're done, I'm then going to start saving. So I'm hoping around this time next year I can put together $6,000 to $8,000, and that's when NBA Jam will go, because hopefully I can find a Halloween pinball. I know. I know. Everybody dislikes Halloween. I played it. I really, really liked it. And for me, the theme is just so important. It's so good. I've played lots of spooky games. I know how different they are. Evil Dead sold out. Yeah, it's sold out. They killed that, man. Whoa. Thanks to P-Dubs, the better YouTuber, I was able to score. Awesome, thanks. No, I won't be getting a Mandalorian. There you go. I've never played Independence Day. Is it any good? Brian G, I would love to find a Gottlieb Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street. There was one for sale last year for around 6 grand Canadian, between 5 and 6 grand Canadian. But the dude was super weird about shipping it. I was on him, but he was like, "No, I want to sell it locally. I want to sell it locally." Too bad too, because it looked like it was in great shape. If it can come up, like, I mean, I would, like to get a Halloween, but at the same time, I'm still open. If I see a really good Freddie Gottlieb Nightmare on Elm Street, I would 100% get that. Or I would get, Tales from the Crypt is another one I really want. Or, I'm not limiting out being a complete Stern shill. And if I can find an Elvira, I'll do that. So there you go. I know. I know. Iron Maiden is incredible. I am never going to deny that. I'm not a band guy, but if there's one band table I would jump on, it's Iron Maiden. And it's amazing layout. I love their music. I would be all over it, 100%. Stranger Things, I love Stranger Things, but there's a reason why I won't get a Stranger Things. Let's see if I can show you this now. Uh, I wanted to get a Stranger Things. I've been looking at secondhand Stranger Things, and this is the reason I'm not going to get them. If I can get my marketplace open, I'll show you really quickly, MG. So jump into marketplace here. Search. Hold on 1 second. I will also tell you this. Remember, I got to show you this. Remember that Tron that I bought last year for $2,500? Well, anyways, the guys finally got it fixed because remember, he took it back from me and because it was fucked up. So he took it back from me. He fixed it up. He's now selling it for $4,000. So a $1,500 markup on what he sold it to me for. I don't think I'll be adding this one back, but I did love that Tron machine. It's just it broke so easily. It scared me from buying real arcades for a while. Anyways, I wanted to show you this if I can find the post. If I get a Stranger Things, I said I'd be okay with a I can't find it now, a pro, but really I want a premium. I want the premium. I want the option to put in the UV lighting, all that shit. And here's the problem. Yeah, Stern made a Tron pinball machine for Legacy. Apparently it's pretty good. I've never really played it, but yeah. I know. I know. But here's the problem with it. Everybody seems to think that you will not lose money selling a pinball machine. Everybody seems to think that, oh yeah, it's worth exactly what I paid for it. So the only ones I've seen online so far on like all the Canadian selling pages and stuff like that, people have been trying to sell for like $15,000 and $16,000, and I'm like, what? It's not how it works. Like that's the problem I have. Where the market is a little bit different here in Canada than in the US. People are just nuts. They try to get top dollars. So like if I found a Stranger Things premium for around 11, 12 grand, 100%, I'd be all over it if it was in really good shape. And I thought it was good, but I mean, I'm not going to pay $16,000. Why wouldn't I just buy it new if I'm going to pay that much? Like, geez. So, anyways, this is why I've been kind of turned off from Stranger Things lately. People just want too much money for them, and I know why. It's because they were so hard to get for a while, and their price was up. But then when Stern made the new ones, everybody went out and bought them, and now they think they're still worth the same amount of money. So, yeah. That's the other thing, man. It's a weird economy right now. People are messed up, but yeah, I'm a used pinball buyer going forward. That's the way I'm going to do it. It just makes sense. I'm a used buyer, but I'm not going to pay new prices for used goods. You know what I mean? Anyways, guys, I'd keep you here all night. It's already been an hour and 10 minutes. Just a little bit of fun tonight. I want to share with you what I got going on, the good things I got done in gaming. I know it's a bit of a bummer right now. Like we all been doing this for years. We're so excited to talk about like what new home arcades and stuff we can add to our collection. But I just wanted to talk about all the stuff I'm doing in gaming and kind of, hope to let you guys know that even though there's all kinds of shitty things happening in the world, still a lot of really good stuff going on. There's a ton of games to play. There might not be new arcades, but a lot of us already have full spaces with tons of arcades we can already enjoy. We got multicades. We're not hurting for games to play. And there's always new opportunities to go find cool things. So even though there's not cool stuff coming out, there's still lots of fun stuff to do. Enjoy games, play with people, go play walkabout mini golf with people. It's fun as hell. You'll have a good time. Anyways, love you guys so much. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you once again for watching. This has been Chillin' Chat with Michael B. Positive. Things aren't that bad. There's lots of fun stuff to play. Anyways, night.